Archangel Michael says, something very strange has been happening around you lately, and you've felt it deep in your spirit. You've sensed the shift in someone's behavior, the odd silence, the sudden coldness, but you couldn't quite put your finger on why. This message reveals what they are truly hiding behind that silence, and it is more personal than you ever expected. There's a person you know who pretends not to notice you. They scroll past your name, act distracted in your presence, and dodge conversations as if you're invisible. But in reality, they are watching your every move and secretly carrying deep emotions they fear exposing. They hoped ignoring you would make their feelings fade, but it has only made them burn deeper in silence. They thought they could control their thoughts about you, but God says they are losing that battle with every breath. Their silence is not rejection, it's fear, it's guilt, it's a storm of emotions wrapped tightly under a mask. This person is struggling with something you once said. Your truth pierced through their pride like a lightning bolt through glass, and now their silence is their protection. But Archangel Michael says, their silence is ending, because the pressure inside them is about to explode. Type Amen to get blessing 333. You were never meant to be ignored, not by this person, not by anyone. Heaven saw how you were overlooked, and it has decided to turn every rejection into redirection. You will no longer be treated as an option, because now, you are rising as the center of attention. The person who acts like you don't exist is the same person who mentions your name when no one's watching. They bring you up in conversations you're not part of, asking about you from others, scrolling through your old photos, and wondering if you've noticed the distance. Their guilt is suffocating them. You have a divine glow now. It's making people tremble who once dismissed you. And this individual is pretending to be unaffected by your transformation, but Archangel Michael says, they're deeply shaken. This is not just about a friend or an ex or someone you loved. It's about someone who still wants access to you but doesn't know how to come back without exposing their weakness. Type Amen to get blessing 704. This person had the chance to be honest with you, and instead, they chose to hide behind pride and fake smiles. They watched your life bloom while theirs felt stuck in shadow. They hoped distance would help them forget you, but all it did was magnify your value in their eyes. They never wanted you to know that you're unforgettable. So they chose to ignore you, block you out, or act unbothered. But inside, they are hurting. They saw your recent success. They heard the way others speak your name now, with honor, respect, admiration. And each time, it cuts them a little deeper. The act of pretending they don't care is becoming harder to maintain. Their emotional mask is cracking, and Archangel Michael says, the time is near when they will finally reveal how deeply they've been affected by you. Type Amen to get blessing 582. This is not just about them, this is about your elevation. You've been through seasons of loneliness and confusion because of people who couldn't handle your light. But heaven is turning it all around. Everything that was hidden is coming to the surface. The truth this person has buried will come out in unexpected ways, a slip of the tongue, a mistaken message, or an emotional breakdown they won't be able to stop. You're being prepared to witness people expose their own hearts without you having to do anything. Just your silence, your glow, your faith, it's shaking them up more than words ever could. Archangel Michael says, get ready. What you're about to hear will bring you clarity, peace, and a deeper understanding of why their silence hurts so much. Type Amen to get blessing 909. They're afraid of you now. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because your growth has made them feel small in comparison. They never thought you'd walk away so gracefully. They thought their absence would break you. But instead, it made you bloom. And now they're regretting it all. They remember every word you said that day. The way your voice trembled when you spoke from the heart. They remember your eyes, your pain, and now it's all replaying in their mind every night. Their silence was meant to punish you, but it became their prison instead. Archangel Michael says, they're haunted by the way they treated you. Type Amen to get blessing 118. They've even tried to distract themselves with others. They've laughed with people who don't mean half as much as you. But nothing fills the void. You are irreplaceable. And that truth is burning a hole in their chest now. They watch your stories. They check if you're online. They listen to songs that remind them of you and then try to forget, but the ache returns every single time. God is not allowing them to move on because they must face what they ran from. Their ignoring was never real, it was a defense mechanism, a survival mode, a shield they no longer can hold. Type Amen to get blessing 221. Archangel Michael says, your soul knows who this person is. You've been receiving hints, dreams, signs. Their energy clings to your spirit like perfume in a room long after someone has left. Your heart wasn't lying when it still felt their presence despite their absence. That was your divine sensitivity alerting you to the truth they couldn't admit. Now, their world is cracking open. They're losing sleep, appetite, and inner peace. They're remembering you in moments they wish they could forget. You are the lesson they didn't want to learn, but now must live with. Heaven says, the time for closure is near, and it will be powerful. Type Amen to get blessing 646. Don't chase after anyone who hides behind silence. Let God expose what needs to be shown. Let divine justice handle those who mistook your kindness for weakness. You have bigger things coming. You are being led into spaces where you'll never be ignored again. Your light will be too bright to overlook. Those who once looked past you will be the same ones watching you rise in awe. Their silence will turn into stuttering apologies. And Archangel Michael says, your dignity will remain untouched, because heaven knows how to honor those who stayed pure even when they were treated unfairly. Type Amen to get blessing 357. There's a table being prepared for you in front of those who turned their back. But it won't be to shame them, it will be to show how divine grace works. The one who ignored you will try to return. They'll try to re-enter your life casually, as if nothing happened. But you'll see through their act this time. You'll no longer feel the pain of being ignored, because your identity is rooted in something greater than human approval. Your spirit is secure now. They may still pretend, but they won't be able to hide for much longer. God is removing the veil, and truth will speak louder than silence. Type Amen to get blessing 808. Their heart is whispering your name at midnight. Their tears have dried into regret. They want to apologize, but don't know how. They scroll through your photos and remember when they had access to you. They miss your voice, your energy, your patience. But their pride is their punishment now. Archangel Michael says, they chose distance, and now they must sit in the silence they created. You are being healed from the wounds of abandonment. Your worth was never based on their attention, it was set by heaven before they even met you. Type Amen to get blessing 190. You've been wondering why you still feel them. Why their face appears in your dreams. Why their name echoes when you least expect it. Because the spiritual bond is still active. But it's not for you to fix, it's for them to face. They're being spiritually corrected. Their soul is undergoing divine pressure to confess, release, and grow. And you? You're being elevated. Let them pretend. Let them watch. Let them regret. Archangel Michael says, you just keep shining. Type Amen to get blessing 444. You are not who you were when they last left. You've evolved in silence. You've flourished in pain. What they thought would break you only made you blossom. And now, their silence is screaming for your attention. But God says, you don't need to answer. The door they shut behind them cannot be reopened with guilt. You have outgrown the space they once had in your life. And heaven is preparing new encounters that won't require you to beg for presence or attention. Archangel Michael says, this is your season of inner peace, outer glow, and divine protection. Type Amen to get blessing 212. Don't worry about what they're saying in secret. Don't stress over the conversations you're not part of. Your name is being defended in spiritual places you can't see. What's done in darkness will be brought to light. And when it does, you'll realize the power of staying silent and letting God speak for you. They had a chance to love you loud, but they chose to ignore you quietly. Now, heaven is speaking loud on your behalf, and the whole universe will feel the shift. Archangel Michael says, your justice is not in revenge, it's in your rise. Type Amen to get blessing 737. The tears you cried in silence were not unnoticed. The nights you stayed up wondering why are over. You now understand that rejection was redirection toward your true worth. They didn't ignore you because you were not worthy, they ignored you because they were not ready. But you've grown while they stayed stuck. Soon, they'll try to return with explanations and soft words. But by then, your heart will be too whole to break again. God says, your peace will be your response. Your glow will be your answer. Type Amen to get blessing 181. You were sent as a gift to them, but they treated you like a background presence. Now they realize that the light they needed most came from the one they pushed away. They miss your laugh. They miss your prayers. They miss your warmth. They pretend to have moved on, but every fake smile is cracking. Every silent moment echoes your name. Archangel Michael says, "You are not forgotten, you are being revealed." Type Amen to get blessing 666. Now it's your time to walk in confidence. The version of you they ignored no longer exists. You've become someone powerful, untouchable, radiant. This isn't revenge, this is rebirth. This is divine healing glowing through your skin. Let them watch. Let them wish. Let them wonder. But you, keep walking forward. Heaven is proud of you for not chasing, for staying silent, for letting the truth speak. Type Amen to get blessing 999. That person will soon see you where they never expected. Celebrated. Elevated. Surrounded by people who don't ignore, but honor you. You don't have to compete for attention anymore. You were never meant to blend in, you were meant to shine beyond measure. Their game of silence is ending. Because soon, God will make your presence so loud it drowns out every quiet dismissal. Archangel Michael says, the time has come. You will be seen, respected, and remembered. Type Amen to get blessing 525. Heaven is removing the spirit of invisibility off of your life. You'll no longer be overlooked. You'll no longer be almost chosen. The world is about to catch up to what God already sees in you. You were always a divine masterpiece, now the unveiling begins. Don't let the hurt of one person blind you to the beauty ahead. Your value doesn't depend on those who couldn't recognize it. Their silence is their loss. Your light is your victory. Type Amen to get blessing 333. The same person who avoided your eyes will one day search crowds to find your face. They will wonder how they lost someone like you. But by then, God says, you will be surrounded by true love. Loyalty. Divine connection. You're not waiting on an apology. You're walking in your purpose. And heaven is backing you every step of the way. Archangel Michael says, let go of the silence and hold on to your destiny. Type Amen to get blessing 818. The pretending is ending. The truth is rising. The silence is breaking. You were ignored, but you were never invisible to God. You were rejected, but you were never forgotten in heaven. You are being restored in ways louder than any silence ever spoken. Watch how everything flips in your favor. This is your moment. And this time, you will never be ignored again. Type Amen to get blessing 777. This is the moment where your silence turns into sound waves across their heart. What they tried to block out is now echoing louder than ever. You didn't beg for their attention, and now that very absence is haunting their thoughts. They thought they could walk away untouched. But the truth is, their soul still carries your name. God has made it so that every path they take reminds them of the one they abandoned. Every success you now achieve is a mirror to what they missed. You are not just surviving, you are blooming. And every petal of your growth is testimony to how silence didn't kill you, it crowned you. Type Amen to get blessing 292. Archangel Michael says, they underestimated how powerful your absence would be. They believed their distance would weaken you, but it gave you wings instead. Now they stare from a distance, wishing they hadn't let you go. You weren't loud in revenge, you were quiet in healing. And that quiet scared them more than any argument could. Because silence holds power. And you used it like royalty. Not to prove a point, but to reclaim your energy. And now the person who pretended not to care is breaking down under the weight of their own act. Type Amen to get blessing 474. Your story is shifting. You're no longer the one left out, you're the one chosen. Your table is full, your future is bright, and your name is being spoken in high places. They had their chance. And they fumbled it. Now they have to watch you be honored where they once overlooked you. God says, your reward is public. Because your heartbreak was private. And heaven always balances pain with purpose. They can't pretend forever. Their mask is falling. And your peace is shining like sunlight on a cold wall. Type Amen to get blessing 601. Remember when they ignored your messages? Now they stare at their phone, hoping you'll say something. But the silence they gave you has now circled back to them. You no longer crave their validation. And that's what hurts them the most. Because once they had the privilege of your presence, and now it's out of reach. You are unreachable to the ones who mistook your light for weakness. And Archangel Michael says, the same people who left you in the dark will now witness your brightest season. Type Amen to get blessing 900. Let them pretend. Let them play strong. But deep inside, they are drowning in what they lost. Your love was rare. Your presence was sacred. And now, they finally know. They are reaping the silence they sowed. They are chewing the bitterness they baked. They are swallowing the regret they served you. But you? You're rising. Floating above the drama. Walking away with grace. Type Amen to get blessing 487. What they didn't say will scream forever in their spirit. What they didn't do will chase them through every room. What they pretended to ignore is now the thing they can't escape. Your name, your voice, your energy, it lives rent-free in their mind now. They scroll back to your old photos. They replay your words. And they whisper your name like it's still allowed. But heaven has closed that door. And only those who value your light will ever have access again. Type Amen to get blessing 766. You are being divinely hidden from people who mishandled your heart. It's not punishment, it's protection. You deserve more than half love and pretend connections. God has removed you from fake rooms and planted you in real purpose. You're being seen by people who see your soul, not just your surface. The ones who overlooked you will soon witness the blessings they walked away from. and it will shake them. Archangel Michael says, your silence was your strength all along. Type Amen to get blessing 321. You held your tears when they turned cold. You smiled through the silence. And now, your resilience is being rewarded in heavenly ways. There is someone new coming who will never have to pretend. Their love will be loud. Their attention will be honest. Their presence will be constant. You won't need to beg, chase, or question again. This love will honor you, loudly. And the one who pretended not to care? They'll finally understand what it means to lose something divine. Type Amen to get blessing 112. They made you feel invisible. But you were glowing all along, they just lacked the eyes to see it. They mistook your stillness for weakness. But it was wisdom. You knew when to stay silent and when to rise. And now, they are the ones who feel forgotten. God says, what they tried to ignore has now become too loud to silence. Your victory is no longer coming, it is already here. Type Amen to get blessing 909. Archangel Michael says, their world is becoming smaller without you in it. Every place they go reminds them of you, even if they act like you never mattered. The truth is, your absence is louder than your presence ever was. They never expected you to rise like this. They thought you'd stay silent, waiting for them. But you surprised them with your power, your peace, and your transformation. You became the very thing they now wish they had protected. Their silence was their choice, but the consequence is something they never imagined they'd face. And now, they are pretending to be strong, but their soul is quietly collapsing. Type Amen to get blessing 888. They speak casually about you like it's nothing. But when they're alone, it's your name they whisper. They act like they've moved on, but they carry memories like ghosts clinging to their mind. You gave them the purest version of yourself, and they looked away. They had gold in their hands and didn't realize it until it slipped through their fingers. Now you shine from a distance. And they're forced to stare at the glow they once ignored. What a painful lesson. God says, they will be reminded of you in every quiet moment. Type Amen to get blessing 413. The person who pretended to move on is still anchored to you spiritually. They can't unsee what they saw in you. They can't undo the connection that burned into their soul. They're haunted by every chance they didn't take with you. Every message left unsent. Every emotion they buried now resurfaces when they least expect it. They thought they could shut you out. But your love was not ordinary, it carried spiritual weight. And now, that weight has become their burden to bear. Archangel Michael says, don't look back. Let the ones who hid their hearts now suffer the silence they created. Type Amen to get blessing 233. You don't need to prove your worth anymore. Your existence is proof enough. Every room you enter carries a different frequency now. This is your season to be chosen on purpose, not as a second option. Not when it's convenient. But as a first choice, in full presence. You are being loved differently from this point on. And the one who ignored you will now be the example of what happens when someone mishandles a blessing. They're not ignoring you, they're hurting. But you don't owe them rescue anymore. Type Amen to get blessing 595. They've tried to erase you, but your imprint remains. Their spirit aches when they hear your name. Their chest tightens when they see someone who reminds them of you. No new person has replaced the memory of you. No distraction has diluted what you once offered. They're still carrying your last words, your last hug, your last goodbye. You've become a living reminder of what real connection feels like. And that can't be faked, no matter how many people they try to replace you with. God says, your glow is untouchable now. Type Amen to get blessing 777. The divine has shut every door they try to open without healing. Every attempt to numb the pain of losing you fails. And each time they pretend not to care, heaven exposes them more. They might lie to others, but they can't lie to their soul. They are tormented by their own pride and regret. Your peace will always speak louder than their silence. Your joy will always shine brighter than their absence. And Archangel Michael says, their punishment isn't from you, it's from God's justice system. Type Amen to get blessing 369. You've been elevated. Promoted in peace. Crowned in quiet. Now, you don't have to prove yourself to anyone who once made you feel small. Your heart has been healed in places their apology could never reach. Their pretending is only delaying the moment when they will break. And when they do, you'll already be too far ahead to look back. This is the season where heaven makes you the one they can't ignore anymore. Type Amen to get blessing 141. Let them act unbothered. Let them wear the mask. Let them keep up the performance. But you? You keep walking in truth. In light. In love. Because while they're pretending, you're evolving. While they're watching silently, God is opening new doors loudly. Archangel Michael says, you are not invisible, you are invincible. And the ones who pretended not to see you will be the first to witness your rise. Type Amen to get blessing 606.